Thee I invite on this night of nights to speak of fear, however slight. So turn off the light, and tonight we share quite the delight. Alongside the sprites and the whites, I shall write and recite of the less horrifying hollowed frights. I'm going to talk about some good Halloween vibes. Hey, happy Halloween! There's a good amount of horror media out there that would fit the Spooktember mood, anime and manga being no exception. But tonight we ain't talking about any of that. We're talking about this. Trying to avoid any straight up Halloween episodes, I want to show you some moments in anime that for some reason or another leave me with some pretty good Halloween vibes. Halloween is a beloved time of year, and when thinking about Halloween media, it doesn't just stop at things like this. It extends for most of us to things like trick-or-treating, parties, or pumpkin patches. On the spooky scale, I want to talk about things around here where the use of horror as a tool is intentional, but not taking it into the true horror category. So first on the list, let's talk about a more recent example being Chainsaw Man has an underlying theme of horror with the whole the scarier the devil, the stronger they are thing. And for the most of Chainsaw Man, all that horror is doing from an atmosphere point of view is driving home how crazy the main cast are and maybe making it feel a little unsettling here and there. But in the case with Makima in the episode From Kyoto, the main cast are out of commission, and due to the previous episode's whole fight murder thing, there are minion emotions swirling around in your head. And somewhere around this point in the episode, a lot of those emotions turn into fear. At first, I wasn't really going to call it fear, but I realized alongside the feeling of relief and the whole coolness aspect of Makima, the first time I read it, when it was all over and even a bit while it was happening, there was this weird, incomprehensible feeling that I'd almost equate to a cosmic horror. Like most shows that have a form of power scaling, show the stronger characters off by having them do things like
even further beyond!
Or for the more nuanced power systems, you can have the villain doing something like this. But every little aspect in this case with Makima, it made me feel like she's truly an unknowable force, that we can't really understand the extent of what she can do, at least not yet. Early on, there's irregularities on how Makima operates alongside Denji, which makes her intentions kind of hard to read. And even if that didn't unsettle you at this point in the story, her show of power makes the possibility that she's up to something maybe not more possible, but definitely more spooky. For anyone that hasn't seen Hunter x Hunter, the thought may be, what's this Pokemon looking at shit? You gonna tell me Haunter was a good use of horror? Well, I mean, yeah, Hunter's fun. But no, anyone that has seen Hunter is thinking to themselves, okay, yep, which of these is he gonna talk about? This one. I'm gonna talk about this one. So up until now, there's been some violence here and there, but it's been mostly tame. For the uninitiated, our boys are having a mini tournament against some inmates. All the inmates of whom have some wacky gimmick or another, other than the big guy who just showed up, who just kind of wants to kill all of them. They send Killua against him, who at this point we know is weirdly strong and violent because he is one edgy dude. I mean, look at his scamped board. So the fight starts, and Killua rips his heart out in an instant. So this moment is spoopy and all, with the big guy asking for his heart back, but what stands out to me the most is the other characters' reactions, where everyone is just a little shocked by it. Gon, our innocent little protagonist, just informs everyone, "Oh yeah, you guys didn't know Killua killed people, huh?" Which makes Gon look a little unhinged through proxy, overall leading to this weirdly strong sense of endearment, which, Gon being a little crazy, is a pretty consistent tool of endearment used by the author, which isn't unique to Hunter x Hunter, but in this case it feels a little bit more unsettling because it doesn't play out how you'd come to expect it at this point in the show, which will help you come to the realization that the Halloween vibes are just beginning. Okay, what's next? Okay, so I know this arc is more directly Halloween, going against what I said earlier, but it's my video, so tricked ya. I'm actually a big fan of this arc in general, given it shows off to me what I feel is the best thing about One Piece, which is, like with Hunter x Hunter, the unhinged endearment we get from these crackheads. Like, when first showing up at the Ghost Island, the three weak, scaredy cats get sent to the island and have a normal, lighthearted horror experience. Fun kicks in when the strong crackhead group decides to follow, with hijinks ensued. I love how we get the same horror situations, first through the quote-unquote weak group, and secondarily through the stronger group, going from a Scooby-Doo-esque horror into what feels like a low-level D&D encounter with really high-level characters. At first, we get something that would be honestly kind of creepy, and at second, we get someone beating the shit out of all that stuff and becoming its boss. I've always loved One Piece for its character interaction elements and its power fantasy elements, and where it's not a perfect arc, it has enough of both of these elements to be one of my favorite arcs in One Piece. Does only keep that going for a portion of the time. However, this arc ran for an entire year in the anime. And if a year of spooky vibes isn't worth celebrating in Spooktember, then I don't know what is. So I know what you're gonna say. Oh, really? Is this idiot gonna talk about costumes? School? Cake? Nope. I'm gonna talk about villain reveals. More specifically, this villain's reveal. All for One was well foreshadowed, making him seem like a force of nature even the power ceiling of the show had a hard time dealing with. So when he shows up within spitting distance from our wacky-go-lucky team group, the feeling of horror on their faces leads to adding a whole lot of intensity to the hype of his showing up. A lot of shows will use the whole, "Oh no, look how scary and strong this guy is," type of thing to like try to drive home how, scary and strong they are. But I feel like this example takes the scary part and just moves it a little bit further for these characters. We as the viewers may still experience this as extra hype due to their fear, but in this moment they really feel like children caught in something they shouldn't be in. I have this memory from a Halloween where me and my friends were getting a little old for trick-or-treating, so we decided to do the trick part of it and toilet paper another friend's house. We saw their family coming home from wherever they were, so we hid over on the side of the house, sprinting away when they started looking at the paper on the side opposite from us. They later found out it was us, but they were pretty good sports about it. I also have memories of going in abandoned buildings on Halloween, or Friday the 13th, or some form of tests of courage with friends. And where I do think most of us can't relate to hiding from supervillain Jesus, I do believe that being somewhere you're not supposed to be is a feeling that's pretty uniquely Halloween.
The walls will ooze green slime! Oh, wait, they always do that.
Juju Beans, like Chainsaw Man, has themes of horror strewn across it, but once again, let me reiterate,
we're not talking about this or this, we're talking about this!
But I have tricked you yet again, because I'm not even talking about this at all. I'm talking about this. More specifically, this. What, voodoo and witches aren't Halloween enough for you? You think I'm just using this as an excuse to talk about a moment I like? Well, you're right. This fight is one of those things that has me questioning the lung capacity on these girls, because it is a full debate while they're running around. The away team debate club is arguing that the home team needs to follow societal pressure in being cute and strong to be a success. During the debate, they both cite the combative twins as explanations as to why they are right. The away team twin showing how she has struggled having been left alone with her clan to follow societal pressures, where the home team twin fights against the clan and societal pressures and to try to overcome them. And look, all jokes aside, I know these societal pressures are something people really struggle with, and there's no simple answer to what to do about them. But
男がどうとか女がどうとか知ったこっちゃねえんだよ。てめえらだけで勝手にやってろ。私は綺麗におしゃれしてる私が大好きだ。強くあろうとする私が大好きだ。私は釘崎野原なんだよ。
she is right. Not everyone has the luxury of knowing who they are, but societal pressures or not, try to find who you are, and when you do, try to love the parts of you that you do find, in spite of what anyone else would have you think. I mean, I think that's something that we can agree Kugisaki wins this debate on. Honorable mentions out to Samurai Champloo for an actual Halloween episode where the characters weren't the only ones tripping balls. ReZero for many scenarios that are honestly just outright horrifying. Asobi Asobase for facial expressions spoopy enough to fit in with classic SpongeBob or Flapjack episodes. Okay, got a bonus meme for you. When I was thinking of Halloween vibes for this video, I was mostly thinking about this type of mood, but thinking of Halloween, there's also looking at it from the OG folktale point of view, and there's some really cool stuff that can be associated with Halloween through folktales. Which honestly reminds me of Mushishi in some roundabout way. Mushishi, if you haven't seen it, is like a crossover between House and Princess Mononoke, where this guy Ginkgo is a Mushi master, and every episode he helps people out with their folktale-esque problems. Very serene and beautiful artwork, opening's a straight-up banger. But on the spooky scale, it's pretty low, but it will give you some slightly unsettling images like this. Or this. There's so many things I want to add, so I'll definitely want to make another Halloween video next year. If you aren't the type of person to like spooky stuff, that doesn't mean there isn't good Halloween vibe to be had. So this Halloween, let's do what we can to enjoy the atmosphere, even if those frights are slight. Happy Halloween. Drive safe. Hey there, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, do all that YouTube stuff, I'd much appreciate it. I know I say it every video, but do drive safe. People do drive a little crazy on Halloween. You know, I realized making this that fear is used in a lot of things. Like, the whole endearing thing. I don't think there's a show I mentioned where the weird, scary aspect isn't used for endearment, so... I mean, fear does lead to courage, and courage is endearing, so... that's fun. Well, have a good night.